All right, welcome in. It is 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, Central Time, and we do this every Wednesday. This is Q Questions. My name is Rob Hilt. Thank you for being here. We are going to start today with a lesson that we are doing here, and I want to show you guys something you may or may not know. This is here. This is more of an aesthetic workflow type of thing. And that is sometimes you have a lot of different window panes on the screen here, these different things, especially when you're linking documents to video. Sometimes things can get a little squirrely. You can start moving your mouse in a way that is fast, and you accidentally grab one of these and you pull that window out just like that. You didn't mean to. We all know how to get it back to where it needs to be. All you have to do is click link docs to video again, and that will come back. But what if you're moving these things around and you don't want them to move? We have a tool that is available for you under View called Lock Panes in Place. And what this means is as soon as you check that box, it is unchecked by default. As soon as you check that box, it's not going to allow you to move these windows anymore or undock these windows. You can still move them side to side, and you can move them up and down. So that's no problem of getting them aligned that way. But leaving them here where they don't move, you can lock those panes in place so that they always stay there no matter what you do with your mouse. If you don't like that, of course, you can just go turn that off. So that's a feature that's sometimes overlooked because it's buried in a menu over here under View. So not a lot of people may go to this tab. And so that's where that is, to lock your panes in place. So with that said, let's go ahead and open for questions. I like being able to do that and have questions asked when you can ask them. And this is the time. So I'm going to open it up for questions right now. All you have to do is unmute and call your name. Dan Brown, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. I'm not sure if this is a new feature or I never noticed it before, but when using a designation wizard and I do the copy and paste, putting the designations sent by the attorney, I'm getting yellow highlighted designations, which indicates that there's a warning. And the warning is designation does not end at a Q&A prefix. But when I look at the particular sections, they look fine. So I'm not sure exactly what it's trying to tell me.
Well, number one, you are on our beta team and on some stuff that you're working on with the ProSync, and so you're using a different version of the program that hasn't been released yet. And so I think some of those things are getting worked out. That's not a feature at this time. Next question. Anybody have one? But what he's talking about is there is a feature that's going to alert you when you've done designations that don't end with an answer and begin with a question. They'll show you non-QA pairs. And so that's currently being worked on. I don't know any more about it than that. Danny White, how are you? Uh-oh. Danny White coming in with no audio. Oh, no. What do you do? Max, what would you do in this situation if you had no audio?
The other microphone.
Yeah, I'd fix the mic.
I'd fix the mic. Hey, Danny, what's up?
What's going on? Tech guys have problems sometimes too, you know?
Never.
All the time.
Got multiple mics, multiple cameras.
Yes, sir.
I think that what Dan is talking about is a good feature. I haven't seen it, but it sounds like a good feature because I'm also flagging some designations to the team where it says, hey, this ends in the middle of the question, or this starts answer only kind of thing. One thing that on the designation I was in trial last week, and I ran into a problem on the weekend, and it was me having being singular minded. I was importing designations for impeachment clips, right clicking on the left panel rather than using the wizard. And I was getting an error, but couldn't find the placement of the error, and it bogged my mind because I was scrubbing the text file and couldn't see it. But when I hit the on tech, the on Q Tech team, they said use the wizard, and then I got what I needed. So it was like it still works from the left panel, but the wizard is the option to use. I would just encourage, folks that like me have been doing it for forever on other versions. Now the wizard is much better, and I'm using the wizard now. So just wanted to share that.
Well, I definitely, we appreciate that, Danny. And I'll tell you, the wizard right here is, it's very self-explanatory. The way it gives you, I do it like a menu, but yes, this thing will give you a lot of information. And under the actions button, you have still so many more things too, with the merge page to page, the removing of overlapping lines, the way to do those overlaps. Is in here, and when you remove the overlapping lines, it'll do that for you. You're able to go ahead and set your highlighter colors in here. You can choose which transcript you're working on. You can actually do all of your designations for all of your depositions all in one window if you'd like to. And so definitely, if you're not doing that, one thing I would encourage though is you can see here there's a backup existing lists before saving. I always back up my lists. That's just me. It doesn't hurt me any, and I'm not taking up much hard drive space by doing that. So yeah, the designation wizard is definitely something to not sleep on. That was a lot of time in development putting together, because you wanted to get that ability to take all that garbage stuff that we get. And when I say garbage, I don't mean that derogatory. I just mean, the formatting of the transcript is off, all of those things. And so that's why that's really good, is it allows you to bring that stuff in, and OnCue kind of deciphers what that is. So thank you for your comments. Max?
Not to sound too sycophantic about it, but the basic story with my transition to OnCue is that I had been a trial director user for years, and it was giving me trouble, so I decided to try OnCue. I got your 45-day free, full everything trial. I did 2 trials in a row on my free 45 days, and that was history, because that designation wizard was the item that totally sold me. I said, wow, this is incredible. I don't know how I've been living without it. Bye-bye trial director, hello OnCue, and the rest is history. That's all.
Well, thank you so much for that. It's very humbling for you to say that, just having gone through a lot of iterations of OnCue. And I can tell you that the one thing that Eric Pubens and that team that was creating OnCue, the one thing that they focused on was, I don't want to stay up all night. I want to have an easier way to do this. This cannot be this hard. This cannot be this hard. And I think that's the way the development team approaches everything. This can't be that hard. Let's figure out a way to do this, because it's got to be easier. There are many, many times we've all had to go back and reformat, talking about the designation wizard. We've had to reformat a list of designations because they just wouldn't come into the current software we were using, be it trial director, sanction, whatever. It had to be just right. And, when you're dealing in bigger cases, that can be a very daunting task, and you're up all night. Nobody wants to do that anymore. And so that's what we strive to do here at OnCue, is to be able to make things that are practical, reasonable, easy to use. Not that you're not going to have to do some work, sure, but something that's better for you. And so I definitely appreciate those comments. Well, thank you guys for being on today. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep these shows at under 10 minutes, and we did it today. Max, I see you've got your turn back on. I'm not going to cut you off, my friend. You go ahead.
Just real quick, since I'm noticing that it's the 4 of us here and not that many people, anybody want to comment on what's a great way to encourage our fellow hot seaters to join in? Because these are much more fun when there's 8 people and we got a lot of questions and we're not done in 10 minutes. But I'm not very big on social media, so I'm not doing a whole lot of that kind of thing. But Dan, either one, or Rob, what should we be doing here? How do we get more people on?
Well, I think it's like everything. I think it just grows organically. I'm glad that it's a small group. I really am. You know, I don't want to lock up an hour of people's time answering a lot of questions, but you know, it will do what we have to do. Everybody's going to get their questions answered if I can answer them. I think it just grows organically. You know, you tell somebody and you tell somebody. I know, you know, Robert McTavish is in here sometimes, and you know, Daria's in here sometimes, and there's all different people. Danny Brown will come in sometimes. So we also, you know, we stream this live on YouTube, so a lot of people catch it after the fact. They may not be people that want to come into a Zoom and commit that kind of time. So I'm just going to let it grow organically. We don't, you know, one thing we don't do, you've not seen in your inboxes, is you don't see mail coming from OnCue Technology. We don't spam people. We just kind of let things grow organically. What information I can give you here, I give you, and then, you know, somebody shares it out or they see it on our YouTube. You know, I think that just, like I said, it'll just grow organically. Danny's going to tell somebody, you know, Max, you're going to tell somebody. And that's kind of how it works, you know, I think. Danny?
Yeah, I echo that, Rob. And I have in touch with some folks that, you know, I've come in contact with. And I know at least three of my guys colleagues, they're in trial right now.
Yep.
You know, so they can't catch it at the time. So
yeah, and that's the thing. I don't, you know, I like the little group that comes in, you know, and so I know when you're in trial and I know when you're not, because you're here, you're not here. If you're not here, you're probably in trial, you're doing some work. And so I think it's a good way to share information, a good way to talk about things and all that. And that's kind of what it's designed to do, but we'll just let it grow organically. And you know, if it's just 4 people that hear this thing and one person got something out of it, then it's worth my time and it's worth our time to be able to do that. And so, you know, hopefully we get more people and hopefully people are looking at it, but you know, we're not hurting if you're not. We're putting this out here as a public service and, you know, just to say, hey, here we are. Ask some questions if you have them. So with that said, my name is Rob Helt. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see